And I believe we are live. Guys, welcome. We're always fashionably late, 10, 12 minutes, sometimes 17 minutes late. But hey, it is what it is. We all got a lot of stuff going on, trying to, destroy the New World Order as the New World Order tries to destroy us. But before we get started, folks, QFS1776.com. Go to our shop button. There's going to be new memorabilia there very shortly, probably within a week. That's if I can push my staff hard enough and run by my wife, Amber. I can only get one of Amber, right? I wish I could clone her, boy. Wouldn't life be a lot easier? And Carmine's Gold, if you need $1,000 worth of gold or silver, we'll ship it anywhere in the country. Contact me at 786-704-8817. Send me a text message. Do not call me to socialize. If you need to socialize, get yourself a girlfriend or a puppy dog or a boyfriend, whatever floats your boat. Okay. And also, if you need a large amount of XRP, nothing less than $10,000, we got brokerage firms all over the world. We can get you as much as you want. 10,000 is a bare minimum, $10,000, and there is no maximum. Send me a message again. I'm interested in getting. Somebody called me from Utah. I won't mention this person's name, but hey, I need $1 million worth. Yeah. Can we get $1 million worth? We can get $100 million worth. That's what we can do. 786-704-8817. And also staying alive. If you happen to be in Cape Canaveral, stop down and say hello. Staying Alive with 2 E's. The other one belongs to the Bee Gees. The one with 2 E's belongs to Mel Carmine. StayingAlive.com, 166 Center Street, Cape Canaveral. Guys.
Mel, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question about Staying Alive?
Yes.
To get a really effective treatment there, I mean, do you have to spend a week there and be in the machine for 8 hours a day, or is it like you can come visit over a weekend or something?
It all depends on what is wrong with you. Everything. If you live on planet Earth, we're all sick to some extent because they're poisoning us with the food, the clothes, the air, the water, everything. Right. So, if you just don't have anything diagnosed that's wrong with you, and you don't have any things wrong with you that you know of, come down and spend 3, 4, 5 days. If you spend 3, 4, 5 overnights and recharge your cellular being, you will thank me in the morning, especially when you get to the third day, the fourth day. And the reason why I recommend the nights is simple. When you go into a meditative state of mind, when you're sleeping, you can't be more meditative than sleep, right? That's as meditative as you can get. That's when the magic happens. Because, look, I won't mention people's names because I was told not to specifically by Amber, but a certain gentleman came to us through a referral, through somebody that you guys know who he is. And bottom line is, this guy went on vacation. Now, I'm not going to mention where he went on vacation because I don't want it to be a dead giveaway. However, he stayed in the system 2 nights and 2 days. He did 2 Therify sessions, or what we call the plasma med bed, which is plasma technology with noble gas and scalar wave, 3 technologies in one. Half hour in the morning, half hour at night, and then he would sleep in the system. Typically, this gentleman who has stage 4 would wake up throwing up. He goes on his vacation, calls the person who recommended him to me, and said, "You're not going to believe this. I've been in this location here, vacationing with my family and friends, and I haven't thrown up in 2 days." And he started to think, man, maybe this thing works, right? So, it's really, if you're terminally ill, I always say the good news and bad news joke that I play on people. I'm very serious when I say the bad news is you got to come live with me, and the good news is you got to come live with me for 2 months. This is not, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and it's done in 2 hours or 2 minutes. This is something that is long term. When your body is, because disease is relentless, but you also got to be careful what you throw in. If you're throwing, soda pop and you're eating Dorito chips, and you think that our machines are going to be, no. I mean, will it work? Yes. I mean, I got another story for you. See, now you made me get into this, I open up worms, right? This lady comes in. She happens to own a hair salon south of us. I'm not going to mention who she is or where she's from, but she's south of us about an hour and a half. And she drinks gin and smokes cigarettes, and she's got stage 4 breast cancer. Now, the machines are not medical devices, but she actually bought her gin, which I thought was water, into the room. I said, "Is that water?" She goes, "No, this is gin." I thought she was joking. Well, 4 o'clock in the morning, because when you're in the system, if you're a male, it wants to push all the junk out of your body. You'll wake up at least 2, potentially 3 times to go to the bathroom, and you'll pee like a racehorse. And I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and lo and behold, she's outside drinking her gin and smoking the cigarettes. Now she's staying in the system for 2 weeks. She did some daytime sessions. She did some overnight sessions. She goes to the doctor, and the doctor said, "I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it because you are in recession, like 95% recession."
Wow.
I get a client from that hair salon that comes up to our center, and she says, "You know that lady so and so? Yes, we know her. Yes, she's completely, totally in remission." Now she hasn't been back to the center in a long time because when your cells is charged, even when you're not in the system, your body's still in repair mode. If that makes any sense. But again, I want to stress this: we're not doctors. We're not making any medical claims, and the machines are not medical devices. They just provide an energy field that your body understands, and then it's your body that interprets that energy field and starts to repair the cells and charge them to 90 millivolts.
But it sounds like I could come in on a Friday afternoon, spend the night there, Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, go home Monday. But I would definitely make progress. Like I would know.
Enlarge your penis.
No, that's not going to happen. But Mike, I can tell you when
I had to quit. I had to quit porn because I was too big. None of the women would work with me, so that's fine.
So, Mike, I stayed there for 3 nights. Was it 3 nights, Mel?
Yes.
3 nights, 4 nights?
I believe so.
And I can't really like describe. I mean, obviously I'm healthy, you know, that I know of. And I just felt amazing. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, I get it. You know,
I didn't feel the fatigue you sometimes feel in the morning.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense that sleeping is the right place. I'm sure Carol can attest to this, you know, because your body naturally heals when you're sleeping anyway. So now we add this extra layer of just sleeping in the frequency, which just feels amazing. And then there's all these other, you know, the other technologies that they have there, right? Like the plasma, which is sort of the next step up, which I did not do. But look, it's not going to hurt you. And if anything, it's going to give you a sense of feeling good, even if you can't come for, like Mel says, like, you know, like a month. And
I mean, it actually sounds to me a little bit before we get out of this. Like I had an attachment removal by a psychic friend of mine the week before I left for New York. And I felt lighter and better and free of these, you know, reptilian attachments. They were all blocked. They were all gone. And sounds like you just kind of feel like that, like you just feel physically better. So I got to come down there for a weekend, Mel.
As a matter of fact, Patrick, who lives in Canada, he had a little bit of problem with his prostate. I'm sorry, he lives in Alaska, not in Canada. And he came down. He stayed for like a couple of weeks, and as a matter of fact, he's in the movie. He's in the movie. You know, Dear Mr. President. You know, you have 2 testimonials, Ray, and then there's another gentleman. That other gentleman happens to be this gentleman that's listening to us live right now. So it is amazing. Stuff, you know, It truly is amazing stuff.
All right. So much for the infomercial for that. I'll have to come down to Cape Canaveral again soon.
Yeah, there you go.
Comment on your infomercial.
Otherwise, I would not invest $350,000 of our hard-earned money to open up this joint, you know. And I do believe at some point there'll be Katie by the door, because once the word gets out, once everybody knows what I know to be absolutely 100 trillion% true, and they know exactly what I know, there'll be like months waiting list to get a chair. I can absolutely assure you. So I'm patient. I'm very patient.
So when you sleep in it, what happens is it drops you into your parasympathetic nervous system, and that's the healing energies. It's in the calmness that when you can go to that deepest part. And even better if you're taking CBDs, because it'll drop you even deeper.
Yeah. That's why I say if you have, some type of cancer, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm giving medical advice, and you have pain, take a couple of CBD gummy bears and then come in the system. And then the pain goes away and the system does what it does, and the body reacts and the body fixes the body. It's awesome. Anyway, what did you guys think about that beautiful drop in XRP? Amber and I went in for that dip, not as much, nobody could really tell exactly where the bottom is, but we did pretty darn good. So we bought some more. Did you guys buy any more XRP out there? There you go.
Not me personally, no.
The shaman did. Yeah.
No, I need more, but I haven't bought more.
Yeah, everybody needs more. But if you got, 10,000 or more, then you're good.
I did, Mel. In fact, I was going back and forth with Amber. Like, now, do we do it now? Do we wait? Do we do it now? Do we put in a request? So I didn't get it quite as low when it dipped all the way to 206, but I did get it lower than what it had been.
Yeah, Mel, I heard somebody sold short on, I don't know if it was XRP, but or might have been Bitcoin right before this happened and made like $1 billion off of this. So there's some shady shit going on with that, don't you think? With what happened?
Oh, no, listen, the manipulation is at all-time high. If you think it's not going on, you'd be absolutely crazy.
Well, because especially with silver and gold going crazy, you know, it just doesn't make any sense that Bitcoin and cryptos would, to me, it doesn't make any sense that they would drop because everything seems to be growing right now.
Yeah. Now we're going to start the show with a little bit of graphic nudity. And so if you got any kids, get them somewhere safe. Okay.
It's not you, is it?
Portland.
In Portland, Oregon have gone fucking bunkers mad.
Oh, that's right. That was ridiculous.
Look at how ugly these people are. I mean,
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
Gross.
Let me go ahead and cue this up if I don't mind. And okay. Share screen. Here we go. Tell me if you guys can see my screen. You can?
See it.
Yep.
All right. This is what happens when liberalism and the system gets a hold of your kids. This is the end result of the sausage factory, folks. I thought this was artificial intelligence when I first saw it.
Dumb down intelligence.
Like you weren't there, right?
Let's get a cut guy.
And I think this is what your universities, this is what your colleges, this is what your high schools produce these days. And it's a shame, but it's true. What do you guys think? I mean, this is how they plan on fighting Donald Trump because he's trying to get rid of Antifa, who the mainstream media now says doesn't exist.
Right. Didn't they catch Keith Ellison, the attorney general from Minnesota, who likes to beat up women? He said there's no such thing as Antifa. And then they showed a clip of him saying, like a year ago, how to join Antifa. This is where you go. This is their website.
Just watch that clip.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's mental illness. These people are nuts. They're out of their freaking mind. They think this is going to make any difference. And I keep going back to, you remember the old Chuck Heston movie, Soylent Green? Mel, did you ever see Soylent Green?
Yeah.
I just keep thinking when I see this, send in the scoops, right? Remember the scoops, the big garbage trucks? You just scoop all the people up, throw them in, and make Soylent Green out of them or whatever. Yeah. Just get them off the street.
We live, and you ever see the movie called Idiocracy?
Yes.
That's the world we're in, yes.
That's the world we're in right now. Exactly. This is it. Okay.
No doubt.
If you haven't seen the movie, watch it. It's hysterical. I watched it 10 years ago when I was living in Costa Rica. My good friend Dimitri said, watch this movie. And I was hysterical back then. About 2 months ago, I watched it again, and I was pissing in my pants. I wish I would have waited for Amber. This way we could have pissed in our pants together, right?
Well, it's sad though. Like if you just from a spiritual standpoint, it's just you look at these people. What are they doing? What they have no lives. I wonder how many of those people even know why they're there, or are they just dragged there by this stupid friends and associates? I mean, don't they have jobs? I don't understand. If I can't go do that, even if I wanted to, I gotta pay bills and I gotta go to. Don't they have jobs? How do these people do this?
I guess they don't. But I just remembered something. I want to do this because it's really important.
What was that movie called? Sorry, I would have to write it.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, I only learnt about that in COVID and watched it then. But yeah, stunning film. What's your sort of like benefits and stuff like over there and welfare for people that don't work? Do you think
Apparently too high. Apparently far too high.
Well, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, the thing is, look, Stu, when you think about it, right? Here's the reality. These people are able-bodied, most of them. Able-bodied people should be doing something productive with their lives. But I think people on Social Security and disability, I mean, they should be making a lot more money than they are, and these people shouldn't be getting anything from the government. Because you have to contribute to. I think you should contribute to society before you get to retire and spend your time doing these protests. But it's just, to me, it's just it's just an illustration of how insane the left has become and how pointless everything they're doing is. I mean, literally, you had people this last week. You had women, pregnant women, overdosing on Tylenol because Trump and RFK Jr. said it was bad for pregnant women, which, by the way, Tylenol agrees with.
Yeah, well, Tylenol put out tweets, didn't they, years ago? And did you see that video of a nurse that said they had a patient come in at 4 o'clock in the morning, and this was one of these women that was chugging the Tylenol, and she was in ICU on her way out, and she was going to die. It's madness.
Yeah. Well, some people have paid protesters. Yeah, we're going to get to the bottom of who it is. And if it's George Soros and his son, I guarantee you that Trump is going to be in office here a year coming in shortly, right? I guarantee you his second term won't start. If it does, there shortly after, I think you're going to see George Soros and his son, once we prove beyond a shadow of a doubt with irrevocable, irrefutable evidence that the funding is coming from them, and we know it is. We just got to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. But check this out, guys, real quick. Every single one of you now could take any movie. If you're Chinese and you speak Russian, or you speak Italian, French, or Spanish, or English, for that matter, you go here. You say what it says. Watch movie. You see my cursor, guys? Yes. You see my cursor up there, right? Watch the movie, right? You go down to the bottom, okay? And let's say you like the Dear Mr. President Cantonese, this one here. You'll click on that. Okay, when you click on that, you see all this writing here on the. Well, we won't play that. We don't want to play that, but this is the writing here. Okay, on the left-hand side should be a link, but it's not there yet for the Cantonese. It will be. Maybe I picked the wrong one, but I know it's there for all the other ones. So let me go back. Okay, here we go. So watch movie. Bingo. Let me remind Amber. Amber, if you're listening, please put the translation link for the Cantonese. Anybody can grab the movie and literally put it on their channel. Okay, so here we go. We got German, right? German.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. Bingo. You see it says download the movie here. You just copy right there that Vimeo link. Copy that. Put it up in the thing, and voila, you could take the German version, upload it to your Facebook, to your X account. It's a free movie. We don't charge anything. As long as you don't alter it, take the movie and run with it. We want it to grow legs. Of course, we're not going to be able to tell how many views it's going to get. When we already got it on, I don't know, God only knows on how many channels, but that's the reality of it. So take the movie and run with it. In every language, we got it in Chinese, we got it in Cantonese, Mandarin, Italian, Spanish, French, German, Russian, English. We got it in every language. So there you go.
I put it up in Spanish, like
You did.
and passed it around here.
Yeah, I've downloaded all of them. I've put them all out. Have you heard back from Millie Weaver?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she was in our live space with us.
Yeah.
And so we are going to be connecting with her shortly.
Yeah. That's why I was late, because I was talking to the other girls from American Mission, and so that's in the works right now, Mel.
Okay, cool. So they're probably going to want to do an interview. Yesterday, I did a great interview with Carol Ann. It's a big media conglomerate of multiple YouTube and Twitch and Rumble and all kinds of channels. So that was a 2-hour interview that was awesome. And the more awesome the interviews are, the more intense they are, the more YouTube and Rumble are both bent on stifling me. So I don't know what's wrong with these people besides everything. I'm sure that some of the people that are probably running these channels were probably on that bridge naked. I'm just telling you. You know what I mean? This is what we're dealing with, you know? So it is what it is. I mean, what do you guys think of that they are really bent on? They're not giving us as many strikes as before, but the numbers are so. There's somebody putting their brake on your vehicle to reach your audience, and they don't give a shit. They don't even have to give you any strikes because when the video is supposed to get tens of thousands of views in the first day or two, or hundreds of thousands, and it gets 500 views, they don't give a shit.
What's up with the Trump suing YouTube? And I know a lot of people are getting their channels back lately, like Jordan Sather, and
I got mine back today.
I heard that hundreds got added in yesterday, by the way.
But like you said, Mel, right? They can still, even if your channel's up, control how many people see it. So
they don't care.
That's great.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
The Trump derangement syndrome, it lives on that bridge for sure. I can assure you. Now, if they think that that's going to be effective, you understand? Are you starting to get the level of insanity here, or am I going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
No, you're exactly right. I've said to people that you are going to watch the mainstream media, your trusted sources, the people that are still watching the news. You're going to watch them lie to you in real time, and they're all coming out. Antifa doesn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. So gold hits all-time high, silver hits an all-time high, crypto takes a dump, the manipulation is at all-time high. What's his name came out today? If I could find that video of Christopher Green, I'm not sure where I put it, but if I find it, I will absolutely play it for you. Eric Trump calls Christopher Green. He calls himself the general. I've been following Christopher 11, 12 years. He's been Bitcoin all the way. About 6 years ago, he saw the writing on the wall with XRP. He got into XRP, says XRP is going to be a monster. He happens to be right. He's already worth about $600 or $700 million. Guess what? He's going to be worth another $600 or $700 million, or perhaps another $6 or $7 billion. Okay, because one day he came on, he made so many purchases, and I got a crazy Costa Rican dog, which I will send him back to Costa Rica. Okay, yelling at me. But anyway, needless to say, one day he comes online, he says, I got a problem. I purchased too much XRP. So I'm sure he owns millions, and I think he does because I think he said it with his own mouth. He owns millions of XRP. Right?
Lucky him.
Guys, keep the audience entertained. I gotta let this crazy puppy out that's 15 years old.
Question for any of you: did you guys watch or hear anything that happened on 60 Minutes last night?
No.
Remember, we were talking about how the whole narrative is now changing out there, even like in the sports programs, and all those guys commented. But yesterday, 60 Minutes came out with the first article was about China hacking into our power grid. And then the next one was a guy who is, I've never seen him before, but I guess he's famous. And he was talking about the lady asked him, I forget who was interviewing him, if he thinks there's going to be a crash. Now, if you looked at this guy in the video, okay, and I posted a bunch of these videos, pictures of him, because when I saw it last night, I said, oh my gosh, he's got a lizard eye. Did you notice that?
I'm saying that.
Yes. Yeah, you sent that to me. Here he is, guys. Christopher Green. How many of you guys know who Christopher Green from AMTV is?
I know him.
Anybody out there? No,
He's been around for a while.
100,000 plus people on YouTube, and he can't get past 20,000 views. Do you think maybe Christopher Green should jump on the movie Dear Mr. President? I think he should. I think he should be uploading it to his channel and send YouTube a message. But anyway, here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, wish I could say more, but I'm delivering the absolute truth to you right now. Just got off the phone with Eric Trump. I deserved a call. Thank you, Eric. Much appreciated. Of course, I'm a massive whale and Trump coin. I can't give all the information, but Trump has greenlit the biggest bull market we've ever seen in world history. Like, honestly, tomorrow, huge announcements are coming. It's going to be massive. Buy everything, guys. Buy everything. Buy every freaking crypto. It was all flush. It was all stress test. Just like I thought, we're going to the freaking moon. This is going to be huge. Bitcoin's going to crush 150K within days. Okay, I'm telling you, my altcoins, my number one picks are going to go through the freaking roof. This is massive. Donald Trump, our greatest president, a peace in the Middle East for the first time in world history. There's going to be a peace agreement, I can say this, in Ukraine next. This is massive. The US dollar is dying. You have to exit the banks now because your life really does depend on it. Buy Litecoin. Get into RSR. Island Project.
Talking about tomorrow, is that?
She's talking today about tomorrow. That's that thing was launched today. Yeah, this morning. Yeah. So he owns he owns a fleet of Lamborghinis. I would never own a fleet of Lamborghinis and a fleet of Jeeps and a fleet of fancy cars. I would never do that because I like cars, but I want to graduate out of the Model T Ford extension technology we should have graduated 30 years ago, right? He doesn't see that yet because he's in many ways these guys are still normies. I mean, I see people still launching projects, for example, in the crypto sphere. And Chuck, you could back me up on this. They still have mining because they're stuck in that Bitcoin mentality, right? It's crazy. Why would you do mining? Have it pre-allocated, ready to go, ready to sell, just like XRP did. That's why XRP is scalable to billions and trillions of transactions per second. So
XRP's already been mined.
Yeah, it was pre-mined. It was pre-allocated. It was ready. It was on the shelf. It's like, hey, you go into a pizza shop and they got thousands of pizza ready to be sold. Let's go. Right? So, and what do you guys think about that? I mean, and him getting an actual call from the president's son, I think that's a pretty big deal.
Well, I'm quite excited by it.
Just want to watch the price go up.
So I think the most interesting thing about that was he said it was a stress test. There have been stress tests going on in other aspects of the financial markets for the last 2 months, all of which have passed. So maybe this is one of the final stress tests before we finally get some sort of major financial breakdown. I hope so. It sounds promising anyway, because that makes sense that they try to stress test and that could account for what happened, and it caused some fluctuation in the market. It makes a great deal of sense, actually.
Yeah. The next one is, I think I'll drive my point home. That they don't want.
Can I just add something, Mel?
Yeah.
What I find interesting is that he said that today, and then we look at what happened yesterday, right? With the way everything was all crazy, silver, gold hitting all-time highs, and then XRP having the dip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, listen, this is what I want to drive home. They don't want you to know about XRP. Listen to this video. It's only 27 seconds long. I'm going to drive my point home ad nauseum.
Will you do another ETF? How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't.
How about XRP? Can you answer that? I can't.
Are you in talks with the largest issuers, particularly BlackRock, to get this done?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. I know BlackRock has said some things publicly. We think it makes sense for the XRP community overall.
I mean, make of that what you will, but I know how to read the tea leaves. I understand what's going on. I mean, and again, I'm prepared to wait another year or 2 years or 6 months or 16 months or 18 months. I don't care. People say, well, how do I know it's not going to go to zero? It's been here for 14 years. XRP's been here 14, 15 years. It's not going to go to zero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if it was going to go to zero, these projects will tend to go to zero usually in the first 6 months, 8 months, less than a year. They're gone, right? So the fact that it's still here, the fact that it's partnered with everybody, the fact that they're merged with the Treasury, the fact that they applied for a license for being a bank. I mean, Chuck, can anybody disagree with what was getting ready to happen here?
I think we're very close.
Are we in the middle of the transition of the trend? A lot of people are saying, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a lot of people saying that.
I'm hearing people say this is the 10 days of darkness. We just remember 5 years ago when they told us that that the banks could be ready in 3 days. You remember that stuff back then when they were talking that way? Look what happened. We're at a 3-day break right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people do think that this is the day, the week.
Right.
I don't really care. I just want it to happen.
Yeah.
I'm done guessing when.
Yeah, exactly.
But it'll happen now.
Exactly. Yeah. But don't ask me. I'll tell you it'll happen tomorrow.
When people mention Larry Fink and BlackRock, they shit a brick, don't they? But surely Larry Fink is working for Trump as part of all this, because when we heard that they merged the Fed into the Treasury in 2020, 21, I think, wasn't Larry Fink put in charge of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Quote me on that, but
yeah, I remember that.
Whether he's bad in the old days and turned or whatever part he's playing now, I'm sure he's part of this operation.
When I look at all of these very large entities such as Fidelity and BlackRock and all of them, the one thing that it just keeps ringing in my head is these executive orders 13818, 13959, 13859, or 858, right? But those three right there basically tell us that, which I believe in the end, we will own BlackRock.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh.
You guys saw this video? This is
I
only
haven't seen it yet.
Oh, this is only 8 seconds. You'll like this, Chuck. You'll appreciate this.
It was our time to party big.
What the fuck is going on out here?
It was our time to party big.
What the fuck is going on out here?
That's exactly how everybody felt, a couple of days ago, right? When that happened. Was that amazing or what?
I mean, think about it. We went through, that was last week only. We went through all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's in store for this week?
I don't know, man. Why don't you tell the people how this all connects to Donald Trump and the Q and the military and space?
Every bit of it. We're watching the movie play out.
Yeah. I agree 100%, Chuck.
Yeah.
Say what's on your mind, brother, because I got to get you prepped for the show. You're going to be the man. Next week, you're going to come with a full computer. No more Mickey Mouse with the iPhone.
LinkedIn.
Right? Guys, here's the thing, man.
Be here today.
Yeah. We're going to be starting a new show here about how to get off the grid because the plan includes every single one of you. Because, see, if I get everybody to buy, for example, with my friend that's going to be coming down, my friend Kobus, who's going to come down to Cape Canaveral and do a 2-hour workshop and teaches you how to get a religious irrevocable trust where you own you own nothing and you control everything. And then Chuck gets on stage with Mark and Brian, and they give you another workshop on the new quantum financial system. And we get people moving in a direction that sends a message to who? Washington. And saying, hey, they don't want to pay property taxes anymore. They don't want to pay income taxes anymore. They're moving in the direction of where we've been telling them that we're going to get rid of the IRS or get rid of this and get rid of that. So we might as well go faster. And see, that's part of the plan. The plan includes you to come down and learn and push until we get what we want. People say, well, if I invest in XRP, I said, listen, how old are you? I'm 30. Great. I said, if you don't invest, let's say I'm right. Let's say in 3 years, worst case scenario, 3 years, XRP blows up. How old are you going to be in 3 years? 33. If you don't invest, how old are you going to be in 3 years? 33. Invest, right? If every single one, listen, if every single one of you can go into a time capsule and go back to 2009 when XRP was actually born, I'm sorry, when Bitcoin was born, and XRP, which is the final Bitcoin, it was born there shortly after because Bitcoin doesn't work. It's heavy on mining, blah, 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 whatever. How many of you would buy Bitcoin right now? I think XRP is what, $2.60 right now, Chuck?
261, something like that. I don't even look right now.
Knowing that right now, you go back with the knowledge in the time capsule, back in time, knowing that right now Bitcoin is every bit of 115,000. How many $2.60 would you spend to buy a Bitcoin or 100 Bitcoins? How many garage sales would you have? How many of your storage units would you go empty and sell all that Chinese junk to someone else and take that money and put it all into Bitcoin? How many of you, we're giving you Bitcoin. History is going to repeat itself right now. The only thing you have to do is call Mel Carmine, 786-704-8817, or send me a text message, say, I got $1 million. I got 100,000. I got 50,000. I want to put it all in. I believe you, Mel, XRP. If it goes down, buy more. It stays level, buy more. It goes up, you got extra money, buy more. The price is a distraction. The only important thing here is you got to own it. Am I right, Chuck? Owning it is the most important.
In the future, we'll walk by people.
Positive health and come down to staying alive and charge your ass.
In the future, Mel, people, when we walk by, they'll in a light whisper say to somebody that's beside them,
yeah, see, somebody that says IRS is already gone. I tend to agree with you. There are people who have not paid their taxes. I know them personally. They're friends of mine. I break bread with them. And they said, nobody's gotten arrested. Some of these people are running for their lives. There was another video that I showed on last week's show. Someone's sister works at the IRS, and they closed that office down completely. It's happening.
Sounds good to me.
Mel, I have a question, and maybe it's premature because you were talking about these religious trusts, right? And I know you're going to have a weekend where you're going to, have Gobus come and talk about it. But I had a question. If you are already in an agreement, maybe Mike can answer this. You have a mortgage, let's say, right? That's an agreement with the bank. And then you do a religious trust, which is between you and God. Does that somehow affect the mortgage you have or the loan you have? Or
we don't teach you how to get out of your mortgage. What we do is we teach you how, if you, let's say, for example, you have a business like Staying Alive is cash flowing $1 million or $1 million a year. That business belongs to God. You just took that business, you just gave it to the ministry.
Right.
You're the trustee of that business, but you don't own it. Everything goes to God. So the way you defend it, and it's really the way it's only, see, Dave bamboozled us with language. You have to know how to untangle that language and bamboozle them with the right language. Say, listen, I'm a man of God. I'm my own person. I'm not the guy. I'm not the straw man. I'm not the guy in the all caps. That business doesn't belong to me. It belongs to God. Are you against my religion? Are you discriminating against my religion?
Right, I get that. But here's my question. Part of doing a religious trust also gets you out, from my understanding, of property taxes.
Okay,
but if your property taxes are tied up with your mortgage, that's my question.
Okay. He will not guarantee that, because maybe he doesn't know enough about it, but I do know enough about it, and I've talked to other people that are in that same world that he lives in, right? And I can tell you that if you take your house and give it to God, and it's owned by the ministry, it doesn't matter whether you open up a pizza shop or you open up a healing center or dry cleaners. Everything belongs to God. You own nothing and you control everything. So if somebody comes to you and say, are you discriminating against my religion? Okay. So now if you want to go to the county and you want to get into 3 or 4 or 5 knuckle fights, and you know how to present it properly, and you talk to the people that know how to do that, and know the lingo and study the lingo. So when you get to knuckle fight, you got a good chance of maybe talk to Nino Rodriguez about, a couple of, right? But the reality is when you get there, you have a very good chance of them saying, you know what? Fuck this lady, Elisa, man. Get rid of her. Just don't charge any more taxes.
I gotcha. It's the
Because the
squeaky
house
wheel.
belongs to
When I might want to get
can't
rid of you.
take it away because it belongs to God. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people out there raise your hand or send me a thumbs up or whatever in here in the chat would spend, for example, $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 to start a religious trust, right? And your property taxes go away. For example, if we could teach you how to do that, maybe Cobus won't, but maybe someone else will. We'll bring him to the show. Or maybe not maybe, but all of your income taxes go away entirely. Okay, all of your businesses are now owned by the trust, and all of your cars, all your gold, your silver, your cryptocurrency, your capital gains tax, all of that goes away. You got to spend, let's say, $8,000, just for argument's sake. You got to spend $8,000 one time only, and all this stuff vanishes. How many people would raise your hand? How many people would spend that money one time to make all that shit disappear? I know I did it. Right? Everybody would do it. So you can come down to Cape Canaveral and you can sit in a workshop for 2 hours and listen to this guy. This guy knows his. I've talked to a lot of these cats. And when I talk to Cobus, I got to tell you the truth. He resonated with me. I said, this guy knows his shit. This guy truly knows his shit. And because he resonated with me, we did a few trusts for a few people, including myself. And when he went to the bank, here's I maybe shouldn't tell you this, but I will. He was able to negotiate with the bank to change the lingo in the bank because the bank wants the trust that is sort of like where they can actually get into your money. But the way he reworded everything, and he was able to win the bank over, the lingo is in your favor. The bank can never touch your shit. The bank can never freeze your assets. It's your money. To me, that was
talking about with banks with regard to your bank accounts. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. To me, that was very impressive to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So not that many people. This is new. This has been around for a little while now. People starting to watch the videos with the cops pulling them over. He said, I got a piece of paper. He says, the only thing you have to do is hold it to your window and the cop's going to go away. I like that. I think that's sexy.
What does it say?
It's got some language that we're going to learn.
It just says,
oh, okay.
It says you know your rights, and I'm not going to say anything, and I want my lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I like that. I think to me that's pretty darn sexy. Right? What do you think, Mrs. Eisenhower?
I'm just observing right now. My thoughts. What do I think? I have nothing to comment, really. I can only hope for the best.
Look, there is also a situation where if you're driving, you don't have to have a driver's license. If you're not driving for commerce, you don't have to have a driver's license, plates, and you don't have to have insurance or registration. That's a fact. But I would still carry the insurance. Why? Because if I hurt somebody, at least my insurance is going to cover that person's damages. Or if I hurt that person, that my insurance will cover the hospital bill.
Right.
That's just common sense, right? But if I don't have to have a registration and I don't have to have a driver's license and license plates, and I could screw the system legally, again, to me, that's sexy.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, I've been anti-system forever, guys. I'm mentally deranged. I'm a little bit crazy, whatever. But I after you meet the amount of people I've met that talk this jargon for the number of years that I've been at this, you start to think that, we've been bamboozled every which way possible. And so someone's going to have to correct this. Someone's going to have to stand up. Someone's going to have to lead.
Yep.
Whether it's teaching people how to become wealthy or teaching people how to get out of a mortgage, which is, you own your house the minute you sign your mortgage. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. However, the question is whether or not you know, if you also have a mortgage agreement, right? I would assume there's an agreement you have with the company in terms of what you agreed to pay, right? Mike, is that correct?
I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I'm saying even though Mel is saying when you have a mortgage, it says you own your house, but
yeah,
but part of that agreement also says that you have a debt that you've agreed.
You agreed to pay it, but they basically defraud you into that.
Yes,
they lie to you about where the money comes from, and that makes it automatic fraud. Furthermore, you know, it's another crime. They're coercing you because they're telling you you can't have your own house that they admit you own unless you sign it over to them. So these are all acts of criminal fraud in reality.
But the only way you can get to that point is that you have to kind of fight it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we could say this all day.
Well,
so,
one thing you could do is, you know, you don't have to have any interest in a home to foreclose on it. One thing you could do is just foreclose on your own house.
And then what happens to the?
Then it has to go through the whole process. I mean, it's going to cost you some filing and paperwork, and you have to have somebody who knows how to do sovereign paperwork. But basically, you just foreclose on your own house from the bank. And if they make a stink out of it, you just point out the notes and you say, obviously, this is always my house in the first place. So, you know, if you're smart, you'll just take the money I've already paid you and then go away. So, yeah, anytime you make like 3 consecutive payments and they accept them, you're in a contractual agreement with the other party. So
saying that you agreed to pay this every month. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, next time I get a parking ticket, I'm going to send them $25 a month till the cows come.
What about sending them $1?
Send them
I've been sending $1.
You get a payment. Send them $1. Say, hey, I made payments. Let them sweat it. You know, I want to just blow the lid off of this whole thing because I think it's a subject that should be dear to everyone's heart. I think everybody should know that the mortgage scam is a scam. I think everybody should know that the IRS is a fucking scam. I think everybody should know that the IRS is registered in Puerto Rico. I think everybody should know that the IRS is not federal. I think everybody should know that the IRS is not part of the United States government. I think that I'm right. And I think if this is true, and I believe with every fiber of my fucking being that it is, then we should blow the lid off of this fucking thing. Then everybody should know. Right? Everybody in the United States, if you've been defrauded, you should know about this. We just got to learn a new language. Well, you know what? No pain, no gain, right? You can't go to the gym and expect you're going to have muscles tomorrow. You got to go there for a month or two. You start to see little results. Same thing here. You got to learn a new language.
And I don't know what it is in your guys' states, but they are banging us every single day for these stupid red light cameras, and it's timed so that it's, you know, it's quicker. They go quicker, right? It's like red, yellow, green. Like it doesn't have the same time. Then you get killed for that. And if you're, God forbid, in the intersection, you're inching your way up, you still get the fine. It's so enraging.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love what they did down in Brazil. They started to douse the 5G towers with gasoline, and they were burning them. You guys should do the same thing in New York.
Suffolk County did do it. They actually went and started tearing down those red light cameras, and now it's okay. So now we got to do it in Nassau.
Yeah, a friend of mine, went to New York, and within 30 minutes or so, he racked up like $480 in fines.
Wow.
And nobody pulled him over.
Really?
I mean, it's, you know, the whole thing is a scam.
Yes.
Have you heard about the Blade Runners in the UK?
What's that?
Have you heard about the Blade Runners in the UK? We've got a thing here called ULEZ.
The Blade Runners in the UK. Explain that.
When you go in and out of London, you have to pay a fee. So Sadiq Khan and all that lot have put up all these cameras everywhere in London, but there's a group of people now, all dressed like Antifa, going out at night, and they've been cutting these cameras down with angle grinders and all sorts of stuff. It's brilliant to see.
It's a lot better than staying freaking naked on the bridge in Oregon freezing your penis off. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the 4 to 6%.
I mean, you want to start a protest? I mean, start there. You know, get some tow truck and start tearing these cameras down, and send the judges and send the police officers and send the chief of police officers a fucking message saying we will not stand for this shit. You either take it down or we start taking it down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In Sicily, I got to tell you a little mafia story now. See, yeah. Anyway, years ago, in my town, Barcelona, Sicily, true story. They decided that they were going to put meters on the sidewalks and start charging everybody for parking. Well, City Hall got a message from the boys, the outfit. They said, we're going to give you exactly 72 hours. Take them down. If you don't take them down, we're going to take them down for you. Well, you know what happened around 2 o'clock in the morning? The towing company that they were using to tow people away for not paying their fines, they blew that up into toothpicks, literally, like, right? One. Nobody got hurt. Nobody was there. But all of the meters, they went with a cement truck in all the surrounding towns from my town. Every meter got knocked down with the cement trucks. Every one of them. You know what? Nobody pays for parking in my town till this day. True story.
We the people.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta get a little balls. You know what I mean? That's where we're lacking. These guys with cojones. Capiche?
Capiche.
That's got to be the funniest part of the movie, no?
Do you know what? I've watched that in every language, and I think the German was my fave.
Yeah. I know things are a lot different down there for Carol Maureen, and she lives in Costa Rica. You don't experience getting a traffic violation for driving through the streets, do you?
Have I? No.
Yeah. You know, I have to tell you, they had it there about right before I moved there in 2012. They had cameras everywhere, and they were sending people tickets through the emails, etc.
Really?
Their tags were registered, on the highway.
Not in the jungle here.
No, not in the jungle, but on the highway.
Yeah,
And,
but what they do is parking tickets. But what they do is just add it on to your Merchaba at the end of the year.
Yeah, the Merchaba.
And I don't know if I've ever even got one. It's probably $2 or whatever.
Right.
So
right.
We're in a different part than you were.
Yeah, we're up north. But anyway, they were sending people, their speeding tickets via the emails, because their license plates were registered through the email, and if you were going too fast, whatever, they would send it. And you know what? The beautiful part about being poor, a poor country, nobody had any money. Nobody was sending in any payments because they had no money. They said, "Well, that scam didn't work, so let's tear that one down. Let's try another scam." You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Look, I don't know how things are going to end. I know that we're fighting like hell. I know we're trying to wake up people like hell. You know, I want everybody to start a podcast and wake people up like hell, because, we've come to the point of no return. We're at the precipice right now. That if people, I want people that are listening to us right now. There's 200 and something people listening. I don't know. There's probably more than that. That number's never accurate, by the way. But anybody who can pick up a microphone who you think you know what you're talking about, talk. Share your knowledge. You guys are awfully quiet today.
Yeah. Well, we're in. I was just watching the.
You guys are still shocked from that dip.
No, I was watching the whole peace speeches in Egypt, and yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Well, guys,
every single one getting their picture taken with Trump, he was like the center of all attention. You could tell, he'd put his thumbs up with the people he liked, the leaders, and he wouldn't put his thumb up, I think, with the ones he didn't like. And then he called Mark, Carney from Canada, he called him a president, and then he comes up later and says, "Hey, I'm a prime minister, not a president." And Trump just laughed. But he was calling that whole Israeli, whoever was making all the agreements, he was calling them central casting. He says they're so good, they're central casting. So who knows what's happening?
There it is.
Yeah. Tomorrow is what's his name? Charlie Kirk event. I think it's also his birthday. That's Charlie Kirk's birthday.
Yeah, it's Charlie's birthday tomorrow, and Trump's flying back to give him a Presidential Medal of Freedom, I believe. Posthumously, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just latest.
So do you think this Charlie Kirk thing, I mean, not to get on it, but I look, it's definitely, the battlefield was confusing. Whoever choreographed that whole thing, nobody really knows who the shooter is. The guy that's in video is not the guy on the roof. The guy on the roof is not the guy in the video. There's no way that he could have made the shot with that gun and his head was still attached. I mean, there's so many anomalies. The guy's taking down the cameras, sabotaging the entire crime scene. The guy with the gun, with a gun underneath, supposedly underneath his armpit. So many things that were just confusing as all hell, right? And now we got the mother and father saying, "Hey, the FBI never gave us $1 million reward. We never turned our son in. That's not my son's text. That was prefabricated by your technology. This is bullshit." And the kid is supposedly in custody saying he's innocent. But everything you see about him is all pre-recorded. Why doesn't somebody like Candace, who's got the ear of everybody at this point, the president, the vice president, all of the, the podcasters, the biggest podcasters, why doesn't she call in the parents and say, okay, you guys come on my show and I want you to tell the world what you're saying, that your son is innocent, that you didn't get $1 million. Tell the world. Because the story doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying the guy's alive. I'm not saying he's dead. What I'm saying is, I don't know.
No, the thing is, there's so many problems with it, but the reality is it does appear, I'm convinced now, he was wearing a body armor plate. It deflected off the body armor plate and into his neck, that would have minimized the velocity to the point that, it didn't go through him. And he bled out right on the spot. So I believe he's dead. I think anybody telling you he's not dead is just living in a fantasy land. But I have a friend, I call him the mechanic. He used to work for the government. He used to protect presidents, 2 of them, Reagan and the first Bush. And he was called and asked to go look at the crime scene within hours. He was there 3 hours after the crime had been committed, and they had already dismantled the entire crime scene to cover up whatever it was. Last time I talked to him about it, he felt like the shot came from the audience closer to Charlie. I don't know if he still thinks that way, but there's a really great YouTube channel called Paramount Tactical, which I would suggest you go to Paramount Tactical and look through the videos going back from 9/11, the day it happened, 9/10, 9/11, and watch it. The guy goes through all the arguments. There are still, having said that, Mel, some very weird things. Something appears to come out of the back. Was that flesh coming off of him? I don't know. There's stuff going on with the cameras behind him. There's all these signals, and Kash Patel has said, "Oh, we're going to check into everything, including the hand signals." Well, we haven't even had a press conference. They can't come out and say, well, here's what we do know about his security team. This guy we're looking at. This guy we're not looking at. We think the hand signals were just timing because they had to wrap it up in 15 minutes or 5. In other words, there's nothing. There's nothing. I remember when I became a conspiracy theorist, Mel, it was TWA 800, which was the 747 shot down flying out of JFK, where I just flew out of recently. And it was shot down by a U.S. Army, a U.S. Navy ship that was doing a weapons test. By accident, they shot this down, and they would get up there every day and give a briefing. And every day they would lie. And that's how I became a conspiracy theorist, because I was an aerospace engineer, and I knew that the narrative they were building was absolute bullshit, because they knew airplanes don't explode in midair all by themselves. This is exactly the opposite. They're starving us of any information whatsoever. This is the most important political assassination since Robert F. Kennedy Sr. And we have not had a word about it in 4 weeks now. So what the hell is going on? And why is nobody demanding any answers on any of this? It seems to me that there's some things very, very wrong. And I don't know, maybe Mel, maybe what they want to do is if they told you the truth about what really went on and who was involved, maybe there'd be a civil war. Maybe they're trying to avoid that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about that. There's no question about that. That is an absolute fact that they're trying to be. They're measuring 9 times. They're cutting once. They're not making any mistakes because they don't want a civil war. That's exactly correct. However, I will tell you, there's 2 things. Donald Trump is working on bringing in the new financial system and the transfer of wealth. And based on the information that's coming from his sons, I think they're doing a fantastic job. And we might not be far away, even though I don't put dates on stuff. Right? So the other thing that I don't see any chemtrails here for the last couple of weeks. I don't know about by you guys over there in Vegas, but here I can tell you that there is no more chemtrails here in Florida. Yesterday there was absolutely none. Today I haven't really been out.
Wait a minute, Scott. That's completely fucking wrong, pal. I know for a fact it was an inside job. It's just all this bullshit idiocy that you read and you see in videos on YouTube telling you that airplanes couldn't bring down skyscrapers are made by idiots. Okay, so I have gone extensively into the fact that it was an inside job. It just wasn't laser beams and sparklers and bombs that were supposedly planted 20 years before that brought the towers down. If you fly a 500,000-pound airplane into a building at 450 miles an hour, you're going to destroy that building, okay? So please get it right before you criticize me, dickhead.
Though it does look awfully like a controlled demolition if you've ever seen.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Have you ever seen a building? It would have fallen over. It imploded on itself.
They all come down sideways. They do not come straight down. Okay. When you do that much destructive damage to a structure like that, you're talking it probably lost 80% of its structural integrity.
Okay, that may be true, but there's also no reason to, name call our viewers.
They were the only buildings ever to come down through fire. There's so much about that is controlled demolition.
It's not fire. It's not fire. It's a 400,000-pound airplane flying at almost 500 miles an hour, which is like the equivalent of a ton of dynamite hitting a flimsy skyscraper.
But those buildings
explosion, and then you have fires burning at almost 2,000 degrees for an hour and a half afterwards. What do you think that does to the steel inside of it? It weakens it to the point that the remaining structural integrity, which is probably less than 30 or 40% of what it was at the beginning, is having to support all that weight. Boom, boom, boom. The thing. I'm amazed the suckers lasted as long as it. Yeah. Sorry.
Here's my take.
Everybody in this conversation who's an airspace structural engineer, raise your hand. Yeah, thanks. That's what I thought.
But Donald Trump is a builder, and he came out immediately saying there's no way that could have happened. So at least we could admit that maybe we don't know 100% for sure either way, because none of us really do know 100%.
I've watched enough demolition experts talk about that, and you've only got to watch Architects and Engineers for Truth with Richard Gage going into this. They've been doing it since, I know those, whether they were planes, might have done some damage, but
did Mike leave?
Yes.
The fireman, you've heard the audio messages from the fireman saying we could take this down with 2 lines, all this sorts of stuff. The bombs, the explosions going off, all these videos that have been deleted.
And Building 7 goes down before all of them.
I think he got the show going, and then he left because the audience is all of a sudden interacting. Oh my God!
I mean, James Stanley, the BBC reporter,
I am not a structural
that building coming down.
Yeah,
and it was still standing behind it, the Solomon building.
Let's be very careful. This is the kind of stuff that could shut down channels, not just mine, but yours. Okay, but allegedly. So let's use the word allegedly. Okay, allegedly, and you won't get in trouble. Allegedly, I've talked to people that are part of this group and part of that group and part of a structural engineers group that say this is a controlled demolition. Let me tell you something. Can you see that? And I'm not talking about the size of someone's prick. That is about how thick the steel beams are, about 1.5 inches thick. Okay, and they were about this wide and like this square, huge, and they were every 3 feet. Okay, and the nose of the airplane, I don't give a shit if it weighs 400,000 pounds or 700,000 pounds or 1,700 pounds. It doesn't matter. 1,700,000 pounds. What matters is the nose of the airplane is made out of what? Look it up. Fiberglass. Number one. Number two, there's never been an airplane that has knocked down buildings in the history of the world except for 9/11. Allegedly. YouTube. Allegedly, motherfuckers.
Capiche, everyone.
And also, I respect that Mike is an aerospace engineer, but he's not a structural engineer unless I stand, corrected. Whereas Donald Trump is pretty much a person, this is way before he was president. He came out in New York. He's a New Yorker. He was down at that site immediately and said, there's no way that could have happened because of the structure and the way it was built. Allegedly. Exactly. Allegedly. So I don't think anyone really has the right to claim that what they know is gospel, and we're having a discussion.
They shipped all the building debris, all the metal to China the very next day. Immediately, they started
gone. Why did they do that cleanup so fast?
They had to get rid of the evidence. That's why. Allegedly.
Look, Trump and that lot has known what's going on for a long, long time. When he did that autism presser the other day, he came out. The first thing he said, I've been waiting 20 years to make this speech. Didn't he?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Let me also say this. The buildings were allegedly comprised as tuning forks. So they started resonant somehow. That's why we had so much dust, because everything just crumbled right off the side because it vibrated it.
But I apologize on Mike's behalf. There's no reason for him to call anybody a name. We're not here for that. We're here to just have a friendly debate. And I think he took it too personal. That's my opinion, allegedly.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Some very wacky times we're in right now.
So getting back to Donald Trump is doing his job. He's going to absolutely usher in the wealth transfer. Are you guys on board with that? Hands up. Yes? You're all hands up? Okay,
100%.
perfect. Great. Where is RFK? Okay, the chemtrails are done, dude, but you know what? Our food is still allegedly being poisoned. Right? How about we get rid of the police force that are giving unnecessary traffic bullshit violations? We got much bigger fish to fry when you got corporations who are producing food who are playing with people's fucking health. Allegedly.
You know what, Mel? I think that this is just my opinion, that I think they're doing it in steps, because if we go back a few years when allegedly all the livestock just keeled over dead, and we had the alleged blowing up of food processing plants, and we had the shortages allegedly in the supermarkets, I think that was the beginning of them cleaning things up. And I think we're well on our way. We're not there yet by any means, but I think we are on our way. Look, let's face it. This is a big job. They've been allegedly poisoning us for decades. And it's a big job with lots of different, angles. It's the soil.
How many people in America, how many people in the world have joint health problems? Raise your hands. Everybody. Where does that come from? Well, when you go to allegedly, they're going to probably outlaw allegedly. If you say allegedly sarcastically, the way Mel Carmine says it, YouTube will outlaw it. Watch, you'll see. Okay, so allegedly, you got Longhorn, which is a steakhouse, right? And you got Outback Steakhouse, They will not buy meat, allegedly, that is not fed what? Corn. GMO corn. That is not grass-fed or grass-finished or grass even started, okay? If you want the best freaking tasting cow, you know what you do? Grow some barley grass inside like big, huge warehouses, like with light systems and multi-levels, okay? And feed that to your cows. And you'll have some amazingly delicious beef. Not allegedly, 100,000% guaranteed, scientifically proven to also produce 37% more milk. Delicious milk.
Yeah. The corn-fed beef is actually that allows the marbling of the fat through the meat, and because Canadians they finish with soybeans and wheat, so we don't finish with corn. So our beef is quite different.
Well, you got grass-fed beef there. You don't have chemtrails, and you have a lot of rainwater to keep that grass nice and clean. So the only problem with the Costa Ricans, they don't know how to cure beef.
Oh, I meant Canada, not Costa Rica.
Yeah,
Costa Rica, we have grass-fed. I only buy grass-fed. We know the butcher and the farm, so
yeah,
it's beautiful here.
Absolutely. Everybody loves that word allegedly now. See what I started? So here's the thing. Why don't we get the police force gone? We get a police force that investigates the police force to make sure that the police force that investigates our food supply companies is not for sale, right? Sort of like an internal, what do you call that police force? There's a name for that police force. Internal something?
Within the police force?
Yeah.
Internal affairs?
The internal affairs. There's the word. Okay. So you got internal affairs investigating the police force that makes unannounced visits to make sure that from now on, you're not allowed to put any of these ingredients in our food supply. And if you do, we will give you fines that are so ginormous that within 3 visits, you're out of business. And we're going to give it to someone else that runs the business the right way. How about
a lot of it says, that they're going to take the dyes or the food coloring or whatever it is out of by 2027. I said, well, why not now?
Why not now?
I mean,
why not now? We got a lot of people that understand food coloring. Say, hey, here's a badge, here's a gun, go inspect unannounced, because these people are playing with our health.
Yeah, but then also people need to start reading labels. I think people are doing it. It's going to be a consumer's choice. You just quit buying the shit. I mean,
absolutely.
But you can't. How can you? They're still taking vaccines. How can you?
Carol, you're so right. How many people they know? There's so much out there now about all this. Let's just talk about the alleged packaged goods. Okay, right? And they still say, oh, I don't care. A little bit won't hurt me. I'll have this. I'll eat Doritos. You can't. People are in a mindset, like you said, they're still taking vaccines. So, people aren't rebelling the way they need to.
Listen, our channels are, what do you call it? Our QFS1776.com. By the way, at the top, there's all of our channels. You can follow us on Telegram. All of our channels are all listed there. Rumble, YouTube, all of them. And we're about health first, wealth second, because you can't enjoy your wealth if you ain't healthy. If your joints hurt in the morning and it takes you 8 minutes to get out of bed, and you got to have somebody shower you because you're out of shape, and every joint in your body is hurting because someone is feeding you poisonous food, allegedly, right? Then someone should go to jail. Because I want to enjoy my XRP and I want no joint pain. I want to be able to, right, knock you out if I have to. Can anybody disagree with that?
Nope.
No, I think a lot of people are going to jail.
Yep, if they haven't already.
That's what we need to see now. We need to see he's got an actual armed force over there in Oregon. Who is that? The Coast Guard, right? That needs to be joined by the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy SEALs, the Green Berets, all of them. That's what we want to see them do.
60,000 secret army. You know all about that, don't you? Newsweek did an article a while ago.
The FDA is a criminal organization, allegedly.
Yeah, that's.
I'm just waiting you guys to say that word allegedly. You'll be sleeping. You'll be talking in your sleep tonight, saying allegedly, allegedly, allegedly.
There's 610,596 sealed indictments now.
Yeah,
that is one big RICO case there, don't you think?
600,000, you said?
610,596 still sealed.
Wow.
Just got to go on bad. I'll put the link in the chat.
And growing.
Crazy.
It's
badboys.us.
bad-boys.us.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning they said it was going to be up to 5 million people in this whole thing.
Yes. I think it was like 100. There was like maybe 50,000 or 100,000 sealed indictments.
500.
But I'm saying, but it kept getting bigger, if you remember.
Yeah, but by the time it really started rolling, it was about 500 something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said it's going to grow.
Don't forget, you can get up to 99 names on each of those indictments.
That's true. That's right.
So that, I mean, basic math is 60 million arrests maximum. That's a lot of people.
A lot.
But there's a lot of fuckers around this planet, isn't there? Taking the piss out of us.
Well, when you look at
my wife loves me.
the doctors, the nurses, the administrators for the hospitals, all those people are going to get talked to.
And what about the postal workers? I mean, right here on Long Island, through one of our followers has told us that they've been walking these guys out. They're coming in with badges and they're walking out with people it hasn't made the news. Yeah. But think about, these are all people that were interfering in the 2020 election, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Nino Rodriguez is a survivor. He's become a good friend of mine, and we love everybody. Who doesn't love Nino Rodriguez? I mean, come on, right? Everybody loves Nino, and he's the guy that started the allegedly. I just took it to the fucking ridiculous level. I made it obnoxious, right? And I'm going to make it even more obnoxious. So pretty soon they're going to have in the algorithms, if the word allegedly sounds too obnoxious, like Mel Carmine, ban the channel.
Allegedly. I was watching Eric Trump the other day I think he was on Megyn Kelly, and he was even saying allegedly. And another thing he said, that they're not even satisfied with the shooting of Trump, never mind Charlie Kirk. He says, we don't even have a final, it's very vague what happened.
I think it's very clear that the kids are conspiracy, allegedly.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch a little?
Can't fix stupid. David Cowboy, I can't agree. I saw a shirt one time. My wife and I were just parking the car at Walmart, and we're coming out of the car, and this rather large human being was putting some stuff in the back of his SUV, and he had this large shirt on that clearly said, I could fix stupid, but it's going to hurt. Okay. And I was the one that coined the phrase, you can't fix stupid, not even with duct tape. Okay. So there's a couple of jokes on stupid, right?
Stewie, you were going to just say something, I think.
Do you want to watch a little 1 minute video of Nino that I trimmed a long time ago? It's one of my favourite clips.
Sure. Where is it?
Yeah. I'll share my screen. It should come in there for you.
Here and I'll share it.
Right, it should be there.
There we go.
Do you want me to share it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you'd done it. Right, here we go.
But we got some really dumb fuck liberals out there that don't know their ass from their elbow, and they need to be taught a lesson. And this is the only way you teach those fucking idiots a lesson, is by this. Now, Juan has told me many times, you got to be nice to them when the shit goes down. You got to open your arms and allow them in and tell them where to go. Fuck you. I remember when you did to me and everybody else, all the conspiracy guys, We're trying to sound the alarm, what you said to us, how we were the nutty, and now we're in this situation because of you. Because of you. And I'm going to be nice to you? Oh, fucking you.
I love what he does.
I'll have to pray about it. And if God puts it on my heart to be nice, I guess I'll have to be nice.
He's such a gangster.
Classic, eh?
It was great.
Yeah, you know, Nino is himself. You know, when he started this, he's very much like me. He doesn't act. He grinds his teeth. I grind my teeth when I'm off camera too. When I get pissed off, I grind my teeth. I talk the same way I talk the way I'm on camera. Not allegedly. That's how I do it. And I always say, if you're going to do it, you know, if you're going to get a microphone, be yourself. Have fun with it. Because people will smell. If you're a phony, you're not going to last in this business. Nino's been here. Nino's been battle tested. He figured out the algorithms. He figured out their psychotic ways. He figured out every, you know, he was still able to grow. He had to throw a little bit of money out there for a little contest to get him to grow, even when everybody's going backwards. Like right now, as of like a month ago, I was like, you know, congratulations, your channel grew by 328 people. Today, I go in my back office. I lost 110 people. You know, but I'm not throwing any money out there, right? Nino might have a little more money than I do. It is what it is. But we live in a fucking crazy world. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyway, guys, I think we're gonna we're gonna wrap this up. Guys, don't forget QFS 1776. We got new merch coming. I can't wait to make the announcement. I wish I could show you the shirts, but I know if I show you the shirts, somebody out there, XRP Army 1.0, 2.0, 1.50, they're all going to copy it. So I got to be the first one. I'm going to flood the market. I'm going to be first. No one has these shirts. No one. Okay. Allegedly. Okay. Anyway, QFS1776.com. All of our social medias at the top. CarminesGold.com. Call us. We'll get you $1,000 or $10,000 or $1 million worth of gold and silver. We can do that as well. Also, don't forget, okay, XRP, large amounts, 10,000 or more, 786-704-8817. Text me first, okay, and don't tell me your life story. I got too many people calling me, all right? But anyway, and also staying alive in Cape Canaveral. Come down and visit us. The body is like a Tesla car. It needs to be recharged after you go for 500 miles. You know, and I think a lot of us have a lot more than 500 miles on them. I think my odometer went a couple of times already. You know what I mean? All right, guys, thank you so much.
Elisa, what do you have for podcasts this week? You do, because you're interviewing some of the podcasters.
Yeah, we have well, they're not live, so they're recorded.
Oh,
so
okay.
So they're not live. But we are going to have an interview with Louis Herms. We're going to take a deep dive into, you know, what Dear Mr. President is all about, you know, the censorship. And the other ones aren't confirmed yet, so I don't want to say anything yet.
Okay.
Yeah. And guys, just as a test for you people that are still here, we want to do a test just to see. I don't even know. I can't even tell if there's any participants. But I got an incredible video. I think you watched it, the video I just did with Carol Ann.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic interview. Probably one of my top 3 best interview. I was in hot seat. I was being interviewed. It's a great interview. It's on my Rumble channel. It's on my YouTube channels. Go there, send it to 10 people and tell those 10 to send it to 10. And let's see if we can break the algorithm just to piss off YouTube, allegedly. Thank you. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for the chat. See you guys.